Happy New Year! We are gathered here today to talk about what I watched in November and December of 2021. I track all of this on my Letterboxd. Feel free to follow me at Anesthesia with 2 N's. On this account, any movie that is a first time watch for me, I write a review no matter what it is. So, look, I'm not the best reviewer or anything, but if that's something that interests you, feel free to follow me. I'll follow you back. Okay, we're going to start with the beginning of November. 7 Blood-Stained Orchids, a Giallo from 1972. Oh, this one was really good. The killer is known as the Half Moon Maniac in this movie. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a nice Giallo time. I rewatched The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, and then I watched another Giallo, The Bloodstained Shadow. This was what I would call a masculine Giallo. It had the dude from The House with Laughing Windows, and it had a lot of religious themes, and it had a killer ending. Next, I rewatched Death Spa because I wanted to make Zach watch it. Just, you know I love it if you've watched one of these before. Oh, next, I watched something random just out of left field. I watched a K-pop documentary on the 9 Muses of Star Empire, mostly because I was just kind of interested in the dark side of K-pop. I really know nothing about K-pop at all. I didn't even know there were so many groups. There were like hundreds. Anyway, so I learned a little bit about that industry, and it wasn't quite as dishy as I wanted it to be, but it was fun. November was a long time ago. Next, I watched Occult. Oh man, this was a Japanese found footage film by the same guy who did Noroi, and it was wild. It was so much fun. It had everything in it. Nosebleeds, vomiting, leeches, UFOs, paranormal activity, premonitions, and at some point it felt like I was watching a true crime, found footage movie. It was awesome. I think I loved that even more than Noroi. Next, I watched My Dear Killer, starring the lovely George Hilton. Another great Giallo, and this is from 1972. I enjoyed this. I think it was just what you would call a very solid installment into the genre. Next, I watched Watch Me When I Kill, a 1977 Giallo. And it wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was okay. Next, Be Proud of Me, I watched The Girl Who Knew Too Much from 1963, what some people call the very first Giallo ever. Oh man, it was cool to see John Saxon, and I thought the movie was really beautiful, really enjoyable. I had fun watching it, and obviously the 60s aren't quite as wild as the 70s Giallo, but I thought it was really atmospheric. Next, I rewatched Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion and rewatched All the Colors of the Dark. And then I watched Pieces from 1982. But that was awesome. That was so much fun. And I loved seeing the same guy, Christopher George, is that his name? The same guy that was in City of the Living Dead. He's great. I loved Pieces. That is just a staple. That should be a household film for all families across the world. Okay, next I watched another documentary, The Social Dilemma, and it really didn't teach me anything I don't already know. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a shocker, but I was like, oh, okay. It didn't change me. I thought it would change me, but I've already been changed. Oops. I realized that I forgot Death Carries a Cane, another Giallo. And I thought it was very good. Not a favorite, but very good. Next, in honor of Thanksgiving, we watched Blood Rage, an American slasher from 1987. I thought it was cute. It was fine. I mean, it was kind of a standard slasher. It didn't make it onto like my favorite 80s slashers, but I thought it was cool. I'd watch it again in honor of Thanksgiving. Next, we watched The Adjustment Bureau. I don't know what the heck we were doing in 2011. We didn't have smartphones. That's what it was. We were just like disconnected from the world because we had just graduated college and got married. Anyway, so never saw The Adjustment Bureau, but I thought it was cool. It comes up in a lot of my podcasts. That's a movie that we hear mentioned often, so we checked out the Adjustment Bureau. I thought that concept of shifting reality was cool, but overall, this is a love story. Next, I watched Phantom of Death because it was directed by Deodato, and it stars Donald Pleasance as well as Edwige Fenech, and it was really good. I was not disappointed. I hadn't seen any 80s Edwige movies, but this is a Giallo that's about this guy who has progeria. So, not like a realistic form of progeria, but like a movie magic form. He gets diagnosed as an adult and then starts aging. But it was really good, really dramatic. I loved it a lot. Oh my gosh. Next, I watched Curtains. What the hell was that? What a waste of my time. I hated it. It was just pure junk. I gave it 1.5 stars. Okay, but afterwards I read what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it a slasher for grown-ups, as in not a teen slasher. But it was really, really freaking boring. I have to read a little bit of my review for you. I'm not going to do that for all of them, but I called it a pretentious soap opera, excruciatingly boring and slow with detestable characters and so dark you can't see what's going on. Oh yeah, and it stars Samantha Eggar, so I was extra disappointed because it was a waste of her skills. And this is a list of things I said while I was watching the movie. I don't like this. I'm bored. Can we move this along? All these people look the same. I'm annoyed. Who even is that? I'm irritated. Maybe this will have a good ending or something. I hated Curtains. Okay, now we're in December, and we kicked things off with Fast and Furious 5. We are making our way through those movies because it's what Zach wants to watch. And I've never seen any of these movies until now. So, I mean, I thought it was fun. They're cute. You can't really go wrong. Next, I rewatched Five Girls. And this is a Canadian horror flick from the 2000s that I like to watch every December. It's just a tradition I started with myself. It's not a Christmas movie or anything, but I started watching Five Girls while I make Christmas cookies. Five Girls stands out to me because I was introduced to it when I started college. And that's when I started having freedom to watch anything because I wasn't allowed to watch anything growing up. So Five Girls was just randomly one of the first horror movies that I saw. And it just became this sentimental movie for me. It's actually really good. Cheesy. I love an all-girls school. So it's like a B movie, but I love it. Oh, and it has Ron Perlman in it. So if you haven't seen it and you like crappy movies, I would highly recommend. Next, I rewatched Eyeball. And then, you guys know I watched Eaten Alive. I watched Eaten Alive and was a little bit traumatized. Well, I guess I like re-traumatizing myself because I wanted to watch another cannibal movie. It's because I just watched Eyeball, and I wanted to check out some more Umberto Lenzi films, and then I saw Cannibal Ferox, and so I clicked on it. This is probably my favorite cannibal movie I've watched so far, actually. Cannibal Ferox was pretty good. Very uncomfortable in a lot of ways, but it was pretty good. I was not ruined after watching it, we'll just say that. And I think I wrote a pretty good review on my Letterboxd if you want to check it out. Oh, next I watched Tragic Ceremony. This has been on my watch list forever. I love Camille Keaton, and we've all seen the imagery that comes along with that movie. It's Camille holding that candelabra, wearing a nightgown. Like, it just looks really, really beautiful. So I finally sat down to watch Tragic Ceremony. This is what I've been telling people. It's not good, but it's lovable, if that makes any sense. Basically, that image of Camille Keaton with the candelabra, like, that makes the movie. That's the whole of the movie. Everything else is just kind of weird, kind of dream logic, feels really low budget, like, just, but it's still lovable. Next, it's Christmas time. So in December, we're going to be watching a lot of Christmas shit. So we rewatched Elf. Elf, side note, it's like it misses the mark. I'm not sure what's wrong with Elf, but something's wrong with it, and I think it could have been better, but something is missing. I don't think it's a favorite. Next, I rewatched City of the Living Dead. I made Zach watch it. He definitely had to close his eye with the drill through the brain. Oh, next I watched, it's like a gothic giallo, Seven Deaths in the Cat's Eye from 1973. Was very delighted to see Hiram Keller in another movie because I've only seen him briefly in Smile Before Death, and I just think he looks so interesting. Seven Deaths in the Cat's Eye was like I've been saying, gothic stuff isn't really my vibe when it comes to movies. So it was just slow, castle-y, and the cousin's kiss, which is weird. Okay, next I watched The Perfume of the Lady in Black, a giallo from 1974. It was like really interesting, fresh, different, chilling, creepy. Mimsy Farmer is fantastic. I was very disappointed by the grape. Why'd you put that in there? Why'd you do that? And why'd you show the entire session? Why'd you show the whole thing? Why do we do that? And why do we watch that? I don't know. I've been talking with people about my feelings about grape in movies. And I don't know why it's there, but I also don't know why I hate that so much. But anyway, overall, I thought it was a great movie, but I'm just going to have to avoid it. Oh, next I watched Death Steps in the Dark. It's a giallo from 1977. It takes place in Greece, and it's kind of a comedy giallo. It was hilarious, but it was awesome. And there's this character, Ingrid, who I would say is maybe one of the best giallo characters ever. Would highly recommend just checking out Death Steps in the Dark. Not because it's going to be your next favorite giallo or anything, but it's just fun and funny, and Ingrid is the best. Next, I rewatched Forbidden Foes of Lady Above Suspicion. Am I okay? Next, I rewatched The New York Ripper. Okay, and then for Christmas movies, I rewatched Home Alone, Black Christmas 1974, Home Alone 2. Oh, and then we went to the movie theater to watch The Matrix 4, aka The Matrix Resurrections. My husband is a Matrix fan, okay? I'm trying to learn. As you know, I didn't grow up watching shit. So I'm having to catch up. Not just on horror, but on all genres. So I've only seen The Matrix 1. So there are 2 in the middle that I just, I'm out of the loop. But The Matrix 4, of course, has Keanu, and he's lovely. So it was fun to watch. Oh, okay. My main criticisms of the movie from a girl who doesn't know what she's talking about is there was not enough PVC, vinyl, and leather. Where's the wardrobe? Okay. Also, I would have liked a little more of an industrial raw synthy soundtrack, not just pure symphony. And story, I don't really know. I don't really know what to say about the story. I didn't think the story was like The Matrix 1. You know what I mean? Next, I rewatched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Santa Claus is Coming into Town. And then I really had every intention of watching more Hallmark or Lifetime Christmas rom-coms, but I only made it to one. I watched The Christmas Setup. I watched it because it is a gay rom-com, and it also is starring a guy from Degrassi. I thought it was good, but, I know what to expect from Lifetime movies. Some people are really mad about it, but I had fun. Next, I rewatched Frosty the Snowman. Then I rewatched The Santa Claus, which is my favorite Christmas movie. And on December 31st, I was like, I have to end strong. I have to end on something. So it took 3 different sit-downs, but I finally managed to watch Demons, which I got on DVD from M. Zombie Punk, aka The Mayor. Okay, so Demons. It was written by Argento, directed by Baby Bava, and music by Simonetti. So I was like, dang, that's awesome. I was surprised that Argento wrote this, because he's usually very like story heavy, but in this movie there wasn't much of a story. It was more just about the experience. So it was kind of like a zombie plague thing, except it was demons. It reminded me a lot of Evil Dead, although I haven't seen Evil Dead in years, but it's like that sort of demon. The effects were great. There was a lot of fluids, there was a lot of gore, and cool makeup and everything. It was fun. Oh, and the soundtrack. The soundtrack, though, I liked having the rock and pop and metal soundtrack, but I just feel like Simonetti didn't get a chance to really come through the way that he has in other films. I didn't know what to expect from Demons, but it was fun. It just like, there was no story to it, if that makes sense. Which, what am I saying? I'm a style over substance girl anyway, but I have to sit with Demons for a while, and I have to see Demons too. Wow, okay. There we have it. That is what I watched in November and December. Fizzled out a little bit in December. I was just watching the Christmas movies and stuff, but hopefully I can pick back up strong for January and February. I might start doing these videos every month, but I didn't want it to like overwhelm my channel, but I don't know, we'll see. Thank you for watching. I welcome further discussion and conversation in the comments, and that's it for now. Ciao!